And good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston, the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. I appreciate you being with me. We've begun a little bit of a short series on Satan, the predictions of the demise, the destruction, and the defeat of Satan. One of the most common objections to covenant eschatology, that is the true preterist view of prophecy, is that, well, you say Satan's been defeated, destroyed, cast into the lake that burns the fire and brimstone, but all you got to do is look around. We still have evil in the world. And this appeal to the world around us fails pretty badly to consider the nature of the work of Christ. It fails to consider the nature of even the work of Satan. It completely overlooks the covenantal context of all of that. So we'll try to cover that as we get into it. As I mentioned to you, I'm not going to be discussing whether or not Satan was a literal spiritual being. Oh, by the way, I don't believe Lucifer in Isaiah 14 was the devil. Okay? Just food for thought. Okay. Anyway, want to focus on just, really the fundamental facts. And that is that God promised from the very beginning, Genesis 3, 15 to 16, and other passages in the Old Testament, God promised the time was coming in which he would destroy the works of the devil. Satan would be destroyed. You remember in Genesis chapter 3, 15 and 16, God promised in what is known as the proto-evangelium that although Satan would bruise the heel of the seed of woman, the seed of woman would in turn crush the head of Satan. In another remarkable passage, which by the way is given very little attention in so many discussions of eschatology, it is known as the little apocalypse, Isaiah 24 to 27. The prediction is made that in that day, and that day, the antecedent reference, is the time of the avenging of the blood of the martyrs, Isaiah 26:21, at the time when the Lord would come out of heaven, Isaiah 26:20, at the time of the resurrection, Isaiah 26:19. So here we have virtually all of the constituent elements of eschatology, and it's tied up with the time of the destruction of Satan. This is the eschatological consummation. It's not a typological consummation. By the way, in my presentation at Criswell Bible College, October the 12th, I will be having a great deal to say about Isaiah 24 to 27. And I'll be sharing some of that with you in upcoming sessions. Okay, so here we have two incredible passages that predicted the destruction of Satan. When we come to the New Testament, we find that Jesus was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. 1 John 3, 8 and 9. Hebrews chapter 2, 10 to 14 informs us that Christ came and through death he might destroy him who had the power of death, that is, the devil. So here we have the predictions of the destruction of Satan, and we have the emphatic statements that Jesus' mission was to fulfill that task. This simply sets the stage. This little segment is going to be a teaser. Here we have prophecy of the destruction of Satan, and we have the statements of the purpose of Jesus' coming. Christ was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. Christ was manifested so that through death he might destroy him who had the power of death, that is the devil. So, the great question is, I want all of my friends all of the viewers of my YouTubes to ask yourself this question. Did Christ fail to complete the mission that the Father gave him? In tomorrow's segment, we're going to examine closer Jesus' mission, and we are going to see what the Bible has to say about whether or not Christ could, could and did fail in his mission, whether or not Christ's mission was postponed to a later date. Look, you really, really don't want to miss tomorrow's YouTube. It is critical. It is foundational. So stay tuned for tomorrow's YouTube. We'll see you on the flip side.